What's up everybody? Let's dive into how you can handle authentication within your Next.js application by using Microsoft Entra ID. So as you can see, I have already created a new project by using npx create next app. So let's go back to VS Code and create a couple of files within our project. So here I am going to create 3 pages. One is going to be the login page. So let's do page.tsx and let's do React functional component export, hit enter, and let's call this login. So that is done. We don't need to import React here. And the second page is going to be the dashboard, and let's do page.tsx and React functional component export, and let's call this dashboard like so, and remove this React import. And the last one is going to be the profile, so profile. And this one, let's do page.tsx and React functional component export, hit enter, and this is going to be profile, and remove this import as well. Nice. So now we have all our files that we want. So the first one is the login page. We will create our login page here. So once the user logs in, he will be redirected to this dashboard page, and we will also create a profile page where we can see our profile, all the informations related to the user who is currently logged in. So back into the browser, let me open up a new tab and search for Next auth. Yes, auth v5. So if you search for Next auth version 5, so you will click on this first link that will show up, and after clicking on this page, it will take you to the documentation page of Next auth version 5. So by the time of recording this video, this Next.js auth version 5 is under beta mode. So you have to make sure that you have used the right URL for Next.js auth version 5. So after reaching to this page, click on this installation link. So the first thing that we are going to do is to install Next auth. I will copy this command and let me go back to VS Code, and here let me bring up the terminal and stop everything and execute the command that we have copied. So it will take a couple of seconds and I will be back once it is done. Nice, that is done. Let's go back to the documentation page. Let's scroll down. We also need to set up the environment variables. So let's copy this command and let me go back to VS Code, and we have to execute that command as well. So I will paste the command and hit enter, and basically this command will go ahead and create a .env file and also add auth secret environment variable to our file. So you can see this is the log, and if I open .env.local, you can see it has successfully created our auth secret environment variable. So next we have to create this auth file within our root directory. So I will copy this code and let me go back to VS Code, and here let me do right click and new file. The file must be auth.ts, and paste in, let me close this and paste in what we have copied. And next we also need to create this route within this path. So here within we have to create API directory here, API, and next. So after doing that, we have to create a folder here which is going to be auth, and again we have to create another folder which is going to be next auth, and here we have to create auth.ts file. So let me go back to the documentation page. So within this auth, I will copy everything which is here and paste in within this file, and let's save the file. And next, we also need to create a middleware file within our root directory. So back to VS Code, let me do right click here, and the file must be middleware.ts, and I didn't copy the codes, so let me go back and copy the codes and paste in the codes as well. So the next step, let's click on this providers tab here, and let's find the Microsoft Entra, because it is the one that we are going to configure within this video. So yes, there it is. So Microsoft Entra ID, and yeah, we just need to create all these environment variables from our env.local file. So where is it? Yes, there it is. I will leave a space and paste in all the environment variables. Actually, we don't need this one, so instead of that one, we just need to provide the Microsoft Entra tenant ID. So let's go back to Chrome and log into our Azure portal just to create the values for all those environment variables. So the page is this one, so let me hit enter, and if you are not logged in, it will ask you to log in, and if you don't have a Microsoft account, you will go ahead and create it right away, and after logging into your account, you will be redirected to this page. So after reaching to this home page, just here within the search box, search for Microsoft Entra. So Microsoft Entra. So within the services, you will see this option of Microsoft Entra ID. So hit on that option, and here on the left, let's see, there is yes, click on this app registrations, and after clicking on that one, let's click new registration. So here we have to give a name our application. Let's call it like let's call it Next.js Microsoft, no, let's say YouTube Microsoft Entra ID demo. So, and here you have to choose one option within these 4 options. So if you don't know what you are looking for, you can click on help me choose, and this sidebar will explain what each option does. So the first one is for when you are targeting the audience within your internal organization. The second one is for multi-tenant. The third one is basically if you want anyone with a Microsoft account to log into your application, you will go for this one, and it is what I am going to choose. And the final one is when you want to only allow the personal Microsoft accounts to be able to authenticate with your application. So depending on your use case, you will choose whatever option that suits your need. So okay, so this is what I have chosen, and I will go ahead and click on register app. So let's wait for the application to be created, and yeah, there are also a couple of configurations that we need to make. Okay, our application has been created, so we have to provide the redirect URL. So let's click on this one. The redirect URL must be so let's add the platform first. It is going to be web. Let's go back to the documentation page and copy this URL and paste it right here. Oops. So because we are going to be testing our application on localhost, so we don't have a domain name, so I will remove this one and add localhost. The port is 3000 and it is not HTTPS. And the logout URL, for now we will leave it as empty and click on configure. Nice. So this is the URL, and once you deploy your application, you will go ahead and also add the actual URL of your application. So you will go ahead and replace this localhost 3000 with your actual domain name. So you will leave everything as it is. What you will just replace is the localhost colon 3000, and you can also keep this localhost here just so that you can still be able to test your application on localhost. So the logout URL also you will need to provide it. It will be https / it will be your domain name, https / your domain name. So, and because we are still going to be running our application on localhost, here the values that we have provided here must be HTTPS, and because we are still testing our application on localhost, so we will leave this as empty. But remember to update this value once you deploy your application. So yep, I will leave everything as it is, and let's go back to overview again. And here you can see we have configured redirect URL for web, and also let's click on this link, add a certificate or secret. So I'll click on this one, and yeah, currently we don't have any certificate or any secret, so what we are looking for is a secret. So I will click on new client secret, and here you just need to provide a description. You can just enter whatever thing that you want. So I will say like let's say my secret description. And here you have to provide the expiration date for your secret. So if these options which are here are not sufficient for you, you can just provide a custom you can just use this custom option just to specify the start and the end date of your secret. And so for me, I am going to choose 6 months is still too much. Let me do 3 months. So 3 months for the sake of this video is enough. So after choosing the expiration date for your secret, click on this add button and wait for the secret to be created. Okay, so our secret has been created, and what we just need is to copy this value, and let's go back to VS Code and paste it here. This is the secret, and let's also go back to the overview page. We need to copy the client ID and paste it here, and we also need to copy the tenant ID. So the tenant ID is this one, so click on this copy icon and let's go back to VS Code and paste it here, and let's save our file. Okay, now we have successfully created all required environment variables for our Microsoft Entra ID. So now let's go and update this auth.ts file. So the auth.ts file, we are going to provide the providers. So in our case, we are just going to say Microsoft Entra ID, and here within this JSON object we just need to provide the client ID. So it is going to be process.env. Let me go back to, where is env.local? It is here, so this one, paste it here, and we also need to provide the client secret. So the client secret is going to be process.env. Let me also go back here and copy this, paste it down here, and finally we want to provide the issuer. So the issuer, I will do the backticks here. So backticks, and it is going to be https /login.microsoftonline.com / here we just need to provide our tenant ID, and after providing it we will do / version 2.0, sorry, 0.0. Okay, so this is going to be process.env. So let me go back here and copy the tenant ID environment variable. So paste it here, and that's it for our auth.ts file. So the next thing that we are going to do is to update our middleware file. So here within our middleware file, let's create a couple of variables here. So the first one is going to be protected routes. So this is going to be an array of all the routes that we want to be protected, which means that the user will access these routes only when he is logged in. So the first one, he must be logged in order to access the dashboard route, and he must also be logged in order to access the profile route. So that's it. And also let's do const auth prefix. Yep. No, it is going to be API auth prefix. So always API auth prefix is API / auth. So lastly, let's create one more variable for auth pages, page routes, and for now we only have login page. So this is the page that we are going to use for creating like for logging in. If we also have a user account registration page, we would also provide this one here. So I will explain why we have created all these three variables in a second. Let's do export default auth. So basically here we don't need to do we don't need to export auth here, so we just need to import it. And here we do our import, and it is going to take request object, and here let's distract a couple of things from the request. So let's take next URL, next URL, and here let's do const is logged in. It is going to be leg.auth. So this variable is the one which is going to tell us whether the user is logged in or not. So next let's create a variable for the path. So the path is going to be the next path name, and we have to create a variable which is going to tell us if a route is an API auth route. So let's call it is API auth route. We can just do next URL dot path name dot starts with API prefix. So basically, in order to know if the route is API auth route, it must start with API /auth. So and this variable will always be a boolean. It will either be true or false. So next let's create another variable. Let's say const is protected route, and let's say protected routes dot includes path. Next let's also do const is auth page. So is auth page route, it will be auth page routes dot includes path. Yes, the path. So next, so we don't want to invoke this middleware if the route is one of the auth routes. So let's do that by saying if is API auth route, and here we just need to return next response dot next. We just need to continue. We don't need to keep validating whether the user is logged in or not, because the API auth route is the one which are going to be used when we are acquiring the session from the providers that we have specified here within our auth.ts file. So next we are going to enforce a rule which is going to restrict access to our protected routes when the user is not logged in. So we will say if is protected route and not is logged in. So if this is the case, we just need to return next response. We just need to redirect the user to a login page. So let's say new URL, and here we can provide the page that we want to redirect to, it is going to be login page, and let's do like dot next URL. So yeah, and then finally let's do here is to return by default. Let's do return next response dot next. So yeah, one more thing that we will need to do is to also add a rule for not invoking this middleware function to these files for the static images and also for the fav icon. So yeah, that is everything that we need for our middleware. So let's just test how the application is working right now. So one thing before we start running our application, here I have made a spelling issue. So it is middleware with double D. So make sure to spell this correctly, otherwise it will not work. So because this is a special file to Next.js. So, and this code will be executed for every route, so as a middleware. So let's open the terminal and do npm run dev and hit enter and wait for it to complete. And yeah, so let's go back to Chrome and let's refresh the page. It is still compiling. We have to wait a little bit. Yeah, so now our application has been loaded. So let's try to go to the profile page now. Profile. If we click on this page, you can see we have been redirected to our login page. So this is the use of our middleware file. If I also try the dashboard, the dashboard page, dashboard. So you can see also I get redirected to the login page. Nice. So let's go back to VS Code and create a nice login page. So here for this login page, so let me paste in sample codes for our login page. So here we can just do like lolm, just like that, and yeah, here let's save this page, and here we just need to create a login button. So because this is a server-side component, we have to create a client component where we will create a button which the user will use to authenticate himself. So let me do right click here and new folder, and we are going to create a components folder, and here let's do new file, let's call it login button.tsx. So let's do React functional component export, and yeah, login button. So we don't need this import, and this is going to be a client component. So let's do use client, and here we can just create a simple button. Let me paste in this, and here we just need to create a loading state. So let's do is loading, set is loading, and let's do use state, and by default it is going to be false. And also let's create a method for handling the login, const handle login, and it is going to be just like this. And here let's set is loading to true, And after that, let's do, this is going to be async so that we can use await here. So we will do await sign in. So sign in from Next.auth/React. So make sure that you are using Next.auth/React because we are within a client component. So here within this method, we are going to specify the method of the provider that we want to sign in with. So it is Microsoft Entra ID. So that is done, and after that, if we want, we can also update our loading state, but if you don't want, you can leave it as it is, because anyways, once we have successfully logged in, we will no longer be on this page. We will no longer be on this login page. So let me save this file. So actually, let's see how it looks on inside of the browser. Oops, so I forgot to import our login button component. So here within the login page, let's import our login button component. And if we go back to the browser, you can see we have our login with Microsoft button. So let's try this button. Let's click on this one. You can see let's wait for this, and here we are being asked to log into our Microsoft account, and also our application that we have created is unverified, because so here you can see we do have this kind of warning. So if you click on this one, if you want your application to get verified, you have to fill out this form and submit it. So after submitting this form, your application will be verified. So your logo will show on this page, and this unverified will no longer be there. So yeah, let's check this box and click on accept. Okay, nice. We have successfully logged in. If I open up the terminal, you can see this is the token that we have got from Microsoft Entra ID. So one more thing that I need to change is that even though we have successfully logged in, we are still on this login page, which we don't need to do that. So let me go back into our middleware file and add a rule which is going to restrict that. So let's say if is logged in and is auth page route is auth page route. So here we just need to redirect the user to the dashboard page. So we will do return next response dot redirect. We have to redirect the user to dashboard page. So let's do new URL. So we have to specify the page here. The page is going to be dashboard, and let's also do next URL. Save the changes and let's test if it works. So if I refresh this page, you can see I automatically get redirected to the dashboard page because I am already logged in. So and right now I can also be able to access the profile page. So let's also um, create the profile page. So here within our profile page, let's modify it. So let's start by displaying by getting the user information from the session. So we'll do const session equals, so this one is going to be a sync. Yes, it is a sync, and we have to await for auth, just like this. And here we are going to display the image, the user profile. So we'll do image, and so let me provide all the attributes that we need for our image. So yeah, oops, we have to import the image first. So let's do import image from next image. And so here within this session object, we are getting the user object, and the user object has different attributes, the name, the image, and so on. So let's also try to display the user email and the full name. So let's do, for example, here, and yeah, so let's test this inside of the browser. So you can see my name is here and my email, but the profile image is not showing. Let me do console.log session, and let's see what we are getting. So scroll. So yes, so because our application is not verified, we are not getting the image. So that is why our image is not showing. But if you register if you verify your application, the image will also, you will also get the image. So in order to fix this, we can add a custom logic here just to show something else in case we don't have image. So we can just do a condition here. If we have image, we'll go ahead and use the image tag to display the image, and if not, we will just go ahead and just create a custom image by using the two characters from the name. So let me save the file and show you how it is going to look like. So this is the custom image that we have created. So here on this profile page, let's also try to add a logout button here so that user can also be able to log out from his account. And again, we have to create a component here. Let's call it logout.tsx. Sorry, it is, let's call it logout. Sorry, logout button.tsx, and let's do React functional component. Sorry, React functional component export, and we don't need React. So next, we have to specify that this is a client component by saying use client, so that we can be able to use on-click method on the button. And let's do button, and let's do on-click. Here we are going to call sign out method, sign out from Next.js Auth React. So Here let's do, for example, let's say for example log out. So just like this, and let me copy the class name that to add some styles to this button, and let's import this button to our profile page. So our profile page, let's add it here. For example, let's do log out button, and let's close the button, save the file, and let's go back to the browser. You can see we do have a logout button here. If we click on this one, you can see we have successfully logged out, and if we try to go to the profile page, we get redirected to the login page, and here on the dashboard. So the dashboard is also protected, we can't access it. So that is all that I wanted to share in this video. Thank you for watching the video, and if you have enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and also consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.